Hello everyone, welcome to the first video of 14th module on role and function of school counselors by grade level, elementary school counseling. In the previous module, we reviewed the role statement of ASCA and understood the role and function of school counselor. ASCA states that school counselors can be employed in all levels of schools like elementary, middle school and high school levels. Literature provides extensive information about the specific goals and strategies for school counselors working with students at various levels and in various settings. In this module, we will discuss about the role and functions of school counselors and try to identify some of the special facets of counseling in elementary school. Elementary school includes students from 1st through the 5th grade and come in the age group of 6 to 12 years, and this age group is known as middle childhood years. The learning objectives of this video is to identify the developmental tasks of elementary school children or middle childhood years. Before we try to understand the role and functions of school counselor, we will look into the developmental task in middle childhood years. Developmental task is defined as a task that arises at or about a certain period in life, the unsuccessful achievement of which leads to inability to perform tasks associated with the next period or next stage in life. It is important that every child attain the developmental task so that the later stages in life are also successfully achieved. Developmental tasks in middle childhood years. During middle childhood years, children start to socialize outside the family circle. They go beyond family boundaries and interact with social system. Socialization requires social skills, values and patterns which enable successful interaction with peers and the outer world. Child's successful development during this stage enhances their experiences and make them ready to meet the challenges of the following adolescent years. Therefore, foundation for later stages of development is laid during middle childhood years. During middle childhood years, developmental task surfaces as children make efforts to form friendships and focus on self-evaluation, learning skills, and team participation and tangible mental processes. The developmental tasks to be mastered during middle childhood years are as follows. It is the self-image, relationships, gender role identification, cognitive and language development, moral judgment and behavior, and finally emotional development. Now let us see about the self-image. Self-image is described as the understanding and evaluation of individuals themselves. Self-image is used to define the occurrence of a person's estimation of who they are. They begin to look at themselves in comparison to others in a range of characteristics and behaviors and qualities like the physical appearance, abilities, capacities, intelligence, skills and creativity. At this point, the self-esteem and self-concept also develops. There are possibilities that a negative self-concept or low self-esteem may also be developed if the child feels his or her capabilities are lower or worthless and find themselves incompetent and hopeless. With appropriate caregiving, support and assistance, children can have a better self-esteem and self-concept by learning to have self-awareness, knowing their strengths and by working on their weaknesses. Coming to the relationships. Social involvement grows through middle childhood years. Involvement with peers, siblings and family becomes more and more prominent and significant. A positive self and child's belief that they are worthful and effective impacts their relationships. During middle childhood, peer relationships have more prominent place. Children develop and maintain friendships and spend substantial amount of time with their friends. They form group relationships, participate in larger group and experience peer rejection as well as acceptance. Good peer relationship in middle childhood years paves way for better academic performance, engagement in activities, successful career and adjustment at workplace, and experience some secure relationships, especially romantic relationships. Coming to the gender role identification. Gender role identification refers to a personal understanding of oneself as male or female. It is a gender identity. The concept of gender role is the manifestation of the personality that reflects the gender identity. Gender identity becomes more firm in middle childhood years. They engage more closely with same-sex peers and show interest in playing with them, trying to imitate them, look like them, and have things in the same way. In this stage, children show their gender identity through gender-specific role behavior. They disperse according to their gender and form gender-specific groups, which is driven by set of peer group rules. Coming to the cognitive and language development. Cognitive and language skills are a significant developmental task that has to be achieved in this stage. Cognitive operations is important. The information processing abilities should be developed in this stage. It is important to observe what children do when they encounter certain specific problems and how far their attention and memory has been developed. Children learn the basic language during early childhood years, but it is important that they master it during middle childhood years. Language plays a very important role in middle childhood years because the information has to be encoded verbally. Improvement in the memory and remembering is important as well. Semantic development in middle childhood years depends on the conversation and child's ability to recognize the meaning of a word or a phrase said by another person. It is estimated that a child's vocabulary has 10,000 words when they start school but increases to approximately 40,000 words in the 5th grade. It is also believed that child's cognitive development during middle childhood years is found in their ability to use the forms of language. It is important that children in middle childhood years have to master the communication skills and master their own language development. Coming to the moral judgment and behavior, moral values and its importance in a child's life is developed during the middle childhood years. Kohlberg, inspired by the work of Piaget, made an important contribution to our understanding of the moral development of children. Kohlberg's outlook links the relationship between Piaget's concepts of cognitive development and gaining moral values. According to Kohlberg, children in their middle childhood years of development typically display pre-conventional moral reasoning. They thus display internalized, basic, culturally prescribed rules governing right and wrong behavior. In the later years of middle childhood, children realize that morally good behaviors gets appreciation and positive regard from family, friends and other people, and at the same time they also realize that bad choices are morally unpleasant and has bad consequence. In middle childhood years, they have to be capable of understanding the need and necessity to follow rules and regulation and also involve in making rules, voice their opinions and pick up the values that profit them. Finally, coming to the emotional development. Emotional development is one of the important developmental tasks in middle childhood years. It is important that children need to develop emotional abilities during middle childhood years. Emotions like pride and guilt has to be developed so that pride motivates children to do new things and guilt makes them to rectify their ways and try again to accomplish good things. Development of emotional understanding is important among children. They need to learn mixed emotions, where they will know that something good may also hold something bad and disappointing. They should understand that they should show what they feel, and people actually do that. Emotional self-regulation is also important. Controlling the emotions and engaging is important, and the child will head towards success. At the same time, if they can manage the situation well and control their emotions, they would have developed emotional self-efficacy. Children in middle childhood years with this kind of emotional development tend to be happier, more empathetic, helpful, and better liked by peers. Less emotionally controlled children have peer problems and less empathy. It is therefore important to get deeper into the emotion and its effects on learning in order to get a proper understanding of its consequences and values. In this video, we have seen the developmental task of middle childhood years in a nutshell. In the next video, let us discuss the developmental needs of elementary school children and the importance of meeting those needs. Thank you.